to the cloud. All right, you guys, welcome to the First Fridays Wellness Cafe with myself, Maria, and trainer Lauren. We have a theme this first week of the year about setting intentions for the new year. So we both have a similar topic to share and just, try to change your mindset a little bit about how to approach the new year. So we put some slides together and just kind of want to maybe open some people's horizons about other ideas and ways to start the new year fresh. So welcome. I'm glad everybody made it in. We just increased the capacity. And we always record it. So if you do have to jet out early, we record it. We post it as a blog and we will share the recording with you guys. So thank you so much for supporting us with the First Fridays Wellness Cafe. And I'll let Lauren start with her part of the cafe. And then at the end, we always have room for questions. So, and you can always throw questions in the chat. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Maria. All right, welcome everyone. Happy first, is it the official first Friday of the year? I think it is. So excited to be here with you for 2022. And I think we all know that New Year's resolutions, they're everywhere, right? Like you'll see it, especially, and I'm going to assume that mostly women are here today, but a lot of them is targeted like towards women, like new year, new you, like how are you going to change yourself? This is the year I'm going to be different. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to, right? We make these big exclamations about what we're going to do. And they don't always lead to success, or they don't lead to us feeling very good about ourselves, or we just keep repeating them over and over and over without them really working very well. And so I think, one of the big draws about VFit for me from the beginning has been that they focus on the whole self, whole health, right? We don't focus on body size or your weight or calories or anything like that. None of those things that really matter. We want you just to take care of yourself and the whole picture. And so that's really what I want to do on focusing on, instead of calling them resolutions, is just kind of setting intentions for the year. And if some of you, I think a bunch of you are part of the VFit Connect, and Rochelle had a workshop this last Monday, kind of setting those intentions, coming up with words for the year, and really what you want to do. So this might be on your mind. You may have not pinpointed what it is yet. Maybe you don't really know. In the past, I've kind of set goals that are very broad, and then some of them I kind of check off and some of them I don't. So today I would just like to work through some of these things with you a little bit, and kind of what's wrong with resolutions and how we can change them more for intentions for ourselves. So yeah, let's see. Maria, will you click? We'll figure this out one day where I can click the slides. In the meantime, I'll be like, you got it, Maria. Okay, so the problem with resolutions, you've probably heard that everywhere, right? Like new year, new you. This sort of implies that there's already something wrong with whatever you're doing. You might have come into this year, be like, I'm great, I'm good. I just want to continue what I'm doing right here, right now. You never have to change anything about what you're doing. So it kind of leads like this expectation of, oh gosh, I guess I should set some goals. There must be something wrong if I don't. And that's not saying that you need to be complacent and just not work on anything or have any goals. But the world has kind of put this pressure on us. January, this is it. Like, this is your month. This is where you need to set goals. And you don't necessarily have to do that, right? You're great just as you are. And so maybe it's something that's something you want to come around to, is you're right. I don't have to do that. I'm going to take that expectation away a little bit. And so the problem with resolutions, and there's probably more, but I'm keeping it semi-brief. People often set too many goals. So they have all these things they want to do over the year. And really, I always try to start with just small. We'll get into that. So anyways, that's what first problem, too many goals. They're often too broad. So if someone says like, I just want to read more. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? How are you just going to read more? Like, do you have any sort of plan? So trying to get those to be a little bit more specific. They could often be unattainable. And that's not saying that you shouldn't like shoot for the stars, because I know you're capable of anything. I am, you are, like, challenge yourself. But sometimes people put these things out there, like, I know I always come back to the weight thing, okay, because you guys know how I feel about that. But I'm just going to say, if someone threw out there, I'm losing 20 pounds this year, we can't even guarantee that that's going to be possible. So instead, we can focus on things that you can do that are health focused, that yes, could possibly result in weight loss, but they may not, but they're still healthy goals for you to be doing that you enjoy. They can oftentimes not be helpful or inspiring. So if you're setting these goals and they're kind of making you like dread what you're writing down, or like, oh God, this is the year I got to lose weight, but you just don't want to, and you are dreading going on that diet, who's going to really want to do that? Does that sound fun to anybody? No. And this doesn't have to be weight, it could be anything. Maybe you don't like reading, but you just think you should read books. And so you put it on your list and you don't like to read. Well, don't read. Find something else that you love. They're oftentimes very looks focused. So on our appearance, right? Like, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to lose that weight. I'm going to get my bikini body. I'm going to start getting Botox. All these things that are just outwardly, and they're not working on the things that are on the inside that are really more important. And oftentimes they're things, like I said before, you feel like you should do them. That's just kind of that expectation out there. Like, I should do this year. I should eat healthier. I should make the right choice. I should exercise more. And that word right there, it's really not helpful either. So we're going to take that word should out of it. And thank you, Sarah. I'm glad you like it. And you can chime in along the way, everyone. And I wish we could talk about this more, but I've got about 10 to 15 minutes. So as usual, we kind of fly through it quickly, but we can always come back to it, or you can watch it later and kind of slow down. All right, so we kind of just want to focus on setting intentions instead of those resolutions. So who you are really at your core values. What is it that you desire? What are your true ambitions? And that they're going to be different for everybody. What I want may not be what you want. And it doesn't mean that my choice is any better than yours, or yours is any better than mine. You have to find out what you really want to do. So creating a self separate from what the world tells you that you should do, because you're going to hear a lot of things. And I know probably a lot of people are on social media, but it's just like so rampant right now. And I'm going to go over that a little bit, but trying to separate some of those things that you see to really what is true health and what is good for you. Ooh, okay, Kristen put a fun article in there. Okay, we'll have to keep that on there so we can refer back to that. Thank you, Kristen. All right, so a good way to do this, and I haven't done this in the past. This is something, oops, sorry. Thanks, Maria. That Rochelle does, is just choosing a word to focus on. So maybe you start right there. Like, you have no idea what you want. Like, I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet. But you could choose a word, like I know Rochelle's is joy, mine is presence, connection. Choose something that you want to focus on for the year, and then you could build your intentions off of that. Maybe that's everything that you choose to do comes back to that one word. So maybe that word is like what inspires you. What is it that you really want to do? What are things that might make you feel better? What is realistic? And then start specific and small. So when I work with people, I tell them right off the bat, like, we're just going to pick one or two things and we're just going to start there. Because again, we pick so many things and then we've got all these things to do and it feels overwhelming and we can't get to all of them. So what specific and small? If you love going for walks and you're just like, I really want to walk more this year, tell yourself you're going to walk for 5 minutes every day or 5 minutes twice a week, so really small and specific. You can always build from there, right? But make it realistic, attainable, something that makes you feel good, you want to do it, and you're going for it. All right, next slide. I'm going to try to keep track of my time. I don't have my watch or my phone. Okay. So examples of some of the typical health resolutions that I've seen in the past. I do think in VFit, we're in a very good bubble of trying to avoid some of these things. So maybe they're not resolutions that you have for yourself, but I've seen in the past, like abroad, lose 15 pounds, go on a diet, have no carbs or sugar. I'm gonna track my calories every day. I'm gonna cheat on my diet on the weekends. I'm gonna work out every single day. I'm gonna fit into my swimsuit by summer. None of those things are really fun, inspiring. They may not be realistic and they're not necessarily enjoyable for life. So how can we reframe some of these things to suit us a little bit better? Ooh, yes. And maybe some of these things we put on our, because Kristen sent an article and Sarah sent a video of how to understand how to dig deeper. She sent a YouTube link. So maybe we can even put these out in the email afterwards so that we all have access, or out on our Facebook page so we can see them. Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, how can we reframe our resolutions? So just like I said before, just choose the one thing. Choose one thing you want to focus on. Is it something that kind of fires you up inside, that like makes you excited, like you're going to actually want to do it this year? Have a positive outlook. So when you're writing out that resolution, make it like have a positive voice, a positive tone to it. Again, making it realistic, something that you want to do, using that self-compassionate voice, right? Instead of being hard on yourself, I should start eating more vegetables. Like that sounds terrible, like that. So that self-compassionate voice, all right? And is it something that you need to do, you want to do, or that you should do? So when you write that out, and you could be practicing it like right now, like kind of writing it out, kind of ask yourself those questions. Ooh, Mary read the article and it's really good. Awesome, I love that. So I just made a couple examples of healthier intentions. Now I'm all pro health. I do tell you guys that all the time. But I think there's a way we can approach it in a better way that's not being so restrictive with ourselves or so hard on ourselves or forcing ourselves to do things that we don't want to do. So people have different things that inspire them. I know a lot of you love going out for walks. That's not actually something I like to do. So I'm not going to tell myself to go walk every day because I don't really find that fun. But for an example, if you enjoy going outside and going for walks, I want to get outside every day and just notice what's around me. If you're trying to read more books, how are you going to get there? Well, we have to start by getting a book and reading it. So I'm going to read 20 minutes every morning instead of getting on my phone. If you're kind of struggling with your meal times, instead of being hard on yourself about how and what you're eating, maybe you just focus on the way you're eating. So I'm going to sit down, I'm going to pay attention to my meal at dinner time. You could pick one meal. I'm just going to start paying attention to my meal. I'm not even saying what you have to eat. If you found yourself spending a lot of money at Starbucks or getting drinks that are super high in sugar and you don't really want to do that anymore, but you love coffee, maybe you focus on making your coffee at home every day. So I don't need to go through all these necessarily so we can keep kind of moving along, but there's things that aren't even associated with food or exercise, like sit in stillness every day. If you find you're a stressed out person and you're responding in ways that you don't like, just tell yourself that you're going to sit in stillness daily. If you find that you're lonely, you're not really seeing friends, making an effort to connect with a friend every week, or joining Connect at VFit, getting that time. That connection is so important for our health. And I think it's something people kind of discount. They just think of food and exercise, but we have all these other pieces. And so being social is a huge part of our health. I love this one really quickly, the talking to myself in a kind way. I think that should probably be on everybody's list, because we're so hard on ourselves on how we do things or how we look or how we handle the situation. And again, just talking to yourself kindly. And so there's a couple other ones on here that you can look at, but I'll kind of keep moving on to our next slide. Good, Alyssa. I'm glad. I heard you on Team Confidence Day. I was like, oh, I hope she comes to cafe. All right, so I will kind of finish up my portion so we can get to Maria's, but now based on what we talked about, it's your turn. So if you've already made a resolution, if you've already had them written down or something you've kind of just kept on your mind, based on something that you've already said, maybe you've already done it, and high five, that is awesome. Or if you feel like, okay, I could change this around a little bit and turn it into more of a positive intention, you can either practice that, or if you want to type it in the chat or unmute yourself, you could share it with us as well. And we can either do that now, or if we want to go through Maria's slides and then do it at the end, if you need a few minutes to kind of think about it after what she talked about too. All right, Maria, you go for it.
All right. Thank you, Lauren. I love this topic. And, I just, oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. All right. So going along with this theme, I wanted to talk about fitness goals beyond check-ins. So obviously, VFit, we don't track a lot, but something we do track is the check-ins. We check it with the leaderboard and with the Hundreds Club. And, it's a great goal. And it's something to know that you are holding yourself accountable to going into a live class. And, I hope we all are able to maintain some consistency. But what I wanted to do, since again, this is the time of year where people are like looking to be inspired and maybe branch out or try new things, is give a list of some fitness goals that would be beyond check-in, something a little different. So maybe something you hadn't considered, but once, hearing out a few of these different ideas, maybe you set a class check-in goal, but maybe you also set like another kind of health goal. So that's kind of my spin on the topic today. Before I talk about there we go. Before I talk about some of the brainstorm lists I had in my personal training education, they talked about SMART goals. So this is a little different than intentions. This is actual like goals. And so I like this acronym because it's easy for me to remember. So when you are trying to maybe put together a goal, like this is a nice way to remember it, that it's something specific. So if you are going for something, someone's off. Oh, who's off mute? I don't know. Oh, here we go. So try to be, so I want to feel better. Yeah, it's great. And we all want to feel better, but what does that mean to you? And one way you can do that is ask yourself, like, how do I want to feel better? And what way do I want to feel better? If it's trying to get more energy, does that mean you need to like start going to sleep earlier or focusing on different things? So just trying to be a little specific with the goals. The next one is measurable. And again, not all goals are going to fit this, but this was a nice framework that I learned. And I thought, when I work with members one-on-one for some of the signature series, I do try to work through some of this with them. So something that you could really measure. So if you are trying to, in the next slide, I have some different types of goals you'll see. So I put in some measurements that you could do, and it's nothing about waist size or pounds, different types of measurements. So you'll see where my mind is with that. Achievable. If you have not ever done a certain thing, you don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to go to Olympics this year. Like that's not possible, but making sure that the goals that you are setting for yourself, even if you're, branching out to something new, just try to be, a little realistic, but make it like a bit of a reach, but possible if you are following, if you're following ways to get to the goals. And then I like that Lauren talked about this too, relevant. If it's not something you're interested in, like Lauren doesn't want to walk outside, that's fine. Then she's not going to make that a goal for herself because she's just not going to do it, right? So making sure it's something that is important to you, it's something that is going to make you feel good, and something that gets you excited to hit. Like you want to be looking at your goal or thinking about your goal and be like, yes, I'm that person. I want to hit that goal. Like, this is so me. Like, I can't wait to be, I just listened to the Connect recording from last night. Someone started piano lessons and, can't wait to be a piano player again, or can't wait to do this again. So it has to be something that really like lights you up and gets you excited. And then the last one is time bound. So again, having that goal, be like, all right, in 3 months, I want to be here, or in 1 month, I want to be able to hit a 1 minute plank, or, just trying to just put a little bit more meat to the goal. So it is more concrete, and then you can think about action steps about how to get to the goals. So I always like this idea of the framework. So when I sit here and try to do my own personal goals, I do try to go through this list. You might not always hit all of these, but it is nice to kind of like think through, what is the actual goal? What are you really trying to achieve? Like, how am I going to know I hit my goal? So this is a nice way to kind of go through it. So, and then on the next slide, I just brainstormed a few different, again, like health related, fitness related goals. And I try to break them up into categories, which was harder than I would have thought. But so here's what I did. So like a time-based goal. And again, I was just kind of, I put together the leaderboard in the Hundreds Club. Like I run those numbers, and I think those are great, but I think there's just other things that you could also be thinking about this year as other goals. So for like a time one, you could work on a specific plank hold time. Like we used to do monthly challenges at plank versus wall sit. We haven't done that in a while, but I can always share that with you, where if by the end of the month, your goal was to get to a 1 minute plank, then the first day, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, try to hold for 10 seconds. And then the second day you build off. So there's like resources out there that we could help you with if that was something you wanted to work on, right? Another one I thought of is even just seeing how many side shuffles you can do in a 1 minute, and then trying to like improve your speed over time and saying, okay, I did 12 side shuffles in a minute. My goal is to try to get to like 20 by the end of the month, and then just trying to practice and work on something like that. Another one, as we're here with Lauren, I was thinking about running or walking. Like a lot of people want to try something new in the new year. Maybe you've always wanted to be able to run a mile, but you've never really tried, and this is your year that you want to try. So maybe you start going outside and even just starting to walk a mile for a few weeks, and then maybe you jog a little bit, and then set a goal for like a reasonable running time. And you can always work with Lauren or another coach or a personal trainer, whoever, to try to get that going. So that was some time-based brainstorming I did. Maybe this makes you think of some other fitness goals that you could do. Strength-based, I was thinking about push-ups. Like if your possible goal would be, instead of doing push-ups on your knees or on the wall, if you're on the wall trying to get to your knees, and if you're on your knees trying to get to your toes, trying to work on building your upper body strength to get a certain amount of full push-ups in. That's a possible goal. I was able to work with a member last year who had that goal, and we were able to work on that. And that was pretty exciting and rewarding. And she got there, which was great. Maybe another strength-based goal is, maybe since you started VFit, you've always had the same set of weights and you're only working out with the same number of pounds. Maybe picking up like a 2-pound set that's a little heavier than what you've been working on, and starting to try adding those in. I know most of the trainers are pretty good about making those suggestions, like, oh, if you have a heavier set, like you can use a heavier set for this weight. So if you are guilty of only having one set and you've been around for a while, that might be a goal to just, and they do increments of 2 pounds for the most part, like, you 2, 3, 5, I've seen 7, 8s, never seen 9s, but there could be, it is possible to go work small, work your way up. So that could be a goal. Skill and form based, I was thinking about burpees. I know that is a move that some people love, and then some people just are never going to try to do it. But maybe this is your year that you're like, all right, I'm going to break down the burpee and I'm going to conquer that thing and learn to love the burpee. It is a total body move and it's very functional. So maybe that could be a goal to, work on trying to get that into class. Another one I had was maybe working on focusing on some balance work. If that is something that's ever been challenging to you, like you could always work again with Sherry or me or someone else, or just on your own, or just in class. Like if you always go right to a wall when you're balancing, like maybe just trying to like set a goal, like, okay, I'm going to, really focus on it this time. And this month I'm going to focus on balance. So that was an idea. And then last one I have on this one is if you know that you have some body imbalances, like if you have really slumped shoulders, there's ways to work to try to bring that back with strength training and stretching. Or if your hips are a little wonky, but you haven't addressed it with a physical therapist or a trainer, just take the opportunity to maybe like put some more guided effort into making some of those corrections. So that was an idea I had. 2 more categories. Cardio-based, those of you using MyZone or interested in MyZone, which is the heart rate monitors, you could always possibly set goals if you're taking cardio blast that, trying to get into a certain color, working to push yourself to a certain level, like that is something that you could always work on. And then overall, I just had, going back to that functional fitness plan could be a goal if you're only taking a certain format of classes, if you're only doing cardio, if you're only doing strength, just trying to maybe stretch and get in all 4 categories. I think that really is a special part about VFit, is that we have all 4 categories for everybody every week. And, we have the on-demand and the downloadable workouts. So trying to get that in could be a goal. And then the last one I had was just maybe challenging yourself with different formats that you're not drawn to, or maybe even trying to do outdoor workouts if you don't do them, or going to a local gym. So just a little brainstorm of other things to maybe try out this year. And, we're always here to help support you guys if you are looking for different ways to stretch and grow during the year. So That is the last slide. So lots of chats popped up. All right, Lauren, let's see here. Yes, I'm Mary. All right. I didn't want to out you, but yes, Mary, I worked with Mary on push-ups, and there's all sorts of things that we can help support you with, and it can be like a short period of time. I worked with Mary for about 5 weeks, and she went from no push-ups to like 16 on her toes. It was crazy. So we're just here to, see, Alyssa's saying, this is helpful. I have so many goals coming to mind now, these are, you guys, I'm getting like goosebumps over these goals.
I know, I was going to say the same thing. I wanted to say really quick, whether you have the compass or not, we have so many tools at VFit, and I know they could be overwhelming, but I have found one of the most helpful things, and they're simple. Like, I just got my compass, but keeping track of like these little wins that you do every day, like Sarah shared that she puts it on a Post-it note, and then the whole year she can go back and look at all of her wins. Post-it notes are awesome to remind you. You can move them around your house or have them wherever you need these reminders. I see a lot of like, be kind to myself, be my own best friend, be more positive, like having that out for you to see and remind yourself. You could also like keep track on the month. Or if you do the dashboard and you have like your mantra of the week, I know Rochelle talks about the dashboard a lot, like having those things right there just as a really good reminder to you, so that you kind of come back to them and see them frequently. Yes, I love what you guys are sharing though. Like you said, Maria, it's giving me goosebumps when I read your
guys, this is so good.
Yeah.
Oh. Should we read them?
Yeah. If that, I mean, they put them out there. Yeah, go for it.
Yes. Okay. So Mary read the article. All right. So Sarah says she wants to try a new healthy recipe a month, which is a great one. Alyssa says, I needed this today. I've been struggling to figure out what intentions I want to focus on. Heather says, I want to love myself. And this is going to like make me cry, you guys. Oh, this is so sweet. Krista says, I want to make more physical reminders in my environment to remind me of what I already know, but often forget. Signs, Post-it notes, right on my mirror, something. Sarah says, reach out to one friend a week. Andy says, I want more connections with people, which is great that you're in VFit Connect. I just watched the video last night's session. Yes to Post-its. They can go everywhere, says Lauren. Mary says, I want more positivity. Sarah says, I write a small win of each day on a Post-it and put it on my bedroom wall, add it to the wall all year. I have a poster that says I'm on a winning streak. The things I write on Post-its are small things like I ordered groceries today, or we ate dinner at home instead of eating out. I called a friend and made my bed. I read for 10 minutes. Focus on a super small wins. Yes. Kristen says 2 things that really helped me during the early days of the pandemic are still helping me. Read a poem almost every night with one of my friends. It helped me because it meant that almost every day I was connecting with my friend Jen and helped me read more. And 2, I use Map My Walk app, and I have a few friends on there that made a team. We write a short observation at the end of each walk before we share our walk map. That is awesome. Lorraine says she loves this. Mary said that I helped her with the push-ups. Lauren says that's very special. And oh man, you guys, these are so good. My face hurts from smiling. There's a few more. And when you do watch a recording, you can't see the chat. So this will help also the people watching the replay. Amanda says, number 1, be my own best friend. Example of small and specific. Once a week or more, I catch a self-critical talk moment and replace it with how I can encourage a friend. 2, finish 6 books and finish 3 novels together as a family. 3, date my husband. First, double amount of dates from last year, which due to circumstances, we only got 2 solo dates, then increased to bi-monthly, then monthly. Our intention is to set up standing monthly babysitting. That's awesome. Melissa says, this is so helpful. I have so many goals coming to mind. Mary says, yes, the compass is a great tool. And that is one of my intentions for this year. It helps see the whole picture. The compass, we still have the downloadable version available. If anyone did not get one, that is ongoing. That's the annual planner. And then Amanda says, agree with Sarah 100% on celebrating the small daily wins. Agree, celebrate yourself at every chance you can. And Dawn says, also releasing an unrealistic goal for a mid-year or when it no longer looks attainable for any reason. Yes, it is important to let the goals go when they don't serve you anymore. That is very important. Danny says, my focus word is awareness. Ooh, that's a good one. Yes, Don, do it when you're ready. No expectations or pressure. And then Lorraine says, definitely a lot to think about in terms of goals. You guys, does anyone want to come off mute and say anything? We have maybe like a couple more minutes before we'll shut her down. This is so good though.
Yes,
Thank you guys
I
so
do.
much for coming. All right, Linda,
I did.
welcome.
This has been my most favorite wellness cafe since you began. This is just like, this has just really touched me a really big way. And it's been really affirming for some of the goals and things that I started in last year and I want to do for this year. And I'm going to share something to encourage anybody that might have been like me with journaling, because I wanted to journal and I just, every time I thought about it, I was like, I can't do it. You know, I just know I can't do it. So in September, my son got me this, I don't know if you can see it. It's called the 5-minute journal. And I was like, I looked at it, I read through the intro and I went, I can do 5 minutes. Of course I can do 5 minutes. And I started this, I think at the beginning of November, and I've done every single day. I have not missed. And what it is, it breaks it down into what you're 3 things you're grateful for and what would make today great. 3 things that would make today great. And then a daily affirmation, I am. And you do those in the morning, and then in the evening, you write down 3 amazing things that happened today and what could I do, what would I could have done better today. And it has just been really, really wonderful for me. So anybody that, I mean, I don't get any money from this. I have no idea. I'm just saying this really worked for me. Maybe it might work for somebody else. And so, and anybody that wants to learn a second language, I committed to do Duolingo every single day, I think starting in the spring. And despite all the stuff that I've had to deal with, that has been like a commitment, and I stuck with it, and it's really made me feel empowered that I was able to commit to something, and I'm still ongoing. Duolingo is to learn a second language. So anyway, I just wanted to anybody that might help, I wanted to pass that on to.
Oh, Linda, thank you so much for sharing. Oh my goodness. And I'm so glad you enjoyed it today. I love this. I feel like we should follow up on it next month, Maria, and just see where this kind of led people and how it's been going. And journaling, I'm with you, Linda, so hard. So I love that. And it has such like a positive framework around it. And so you can't help believe, but like, you know, feeling good. So good for you. Right. That's a huge accomplishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes. Oh yeah. If you'll share the name of the journal in the chat, Indy wants to know.
Oh, okay.
And was there something else? Oh yeah, Dawn got into journaling. I love that. And here's the thing too, if you don't love journaling, you don't have to journal. So it's one of those things too, like find something that really works for you that you feel good about. And I think we should follow up next month and come meet us in February. And we'll see how it's going. But this was awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for your input. I just wrote down while you guys were talking, my 2 great things about today. I put a great wellness cafe and a good run this morning. So little wins. I'm going to start today since I hadn't done it yet. All right. Anything else from you, Maria?
No, I'm good. Thank you guys so much for coming. And yeah, let's follow this up for next month. We can put some sort of framework around it, but that'll be great. So come next month. And Linda shares it's the 5-minute journal. So, and I'll email you guys all the recording, and I copied the 2 hyperlinks too. So thank you guys so much for joining, and we look forward to next month catching up on all this.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your Friday. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. They're all great. I love each and every one of them.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody.